It was a protest of mistreatment and killings of African Americans by the hands of police.
Retired Madison Police Chief Wray is with us to discuss this issue. Good to see you again.
Great to see you.
Thank you.
I noticed you nodding your head as Aaron Rodgers was speaking.
Absolutely.
You agree with him?
Totally agree with him. You know, I hope that it takes place, that people lock arms. Be impressive to see a sea of humanity at a Packer game in recognition of some of the issues that we're dealing with today.
Well, why do you think this has touched such a nerve? Do you think it's a big misunderstanding? From your perspective, what is the message the players are trying to convey?
There has been a misunderstanding. You know, this discussion goes back and forth between is it race or is it the flag or the anthem? I think it's both. The reality is that all of us, at some point in time, said the Pledge of Allegiance. At the end of the Pledge of Allegiance, we said justice for all. And I think Colin Kaepernick, what he was trying to do is point out the importance of ensuring that we had justice for all.
There were 3 or 4 players that were doing this before the president called them SOBs, and now there's hundreds. Yeah. Why do you think such a reaction?
I think such a reaction is because you expect, and we expect, our formal leader to say and do things that will bring a country together. But when you call young men and their parents and their mothers SOBs, you lose your moral authority. You lose your moral authority to lead and to bring people together. That has left us vulnerable, and we believe that we have to take a step, and the NFL players believe they have to take a step. When you saw those players, it impacted them emotionally when he made those statements about them and their mothers.
Do you understand the other side of this, though? Do you understand why people were so offended and kind of didn't understand the intent?
I understand it. I was just recently at a Packer game, at the Seattle Packer game, while the anthem was playing and then the Jets went by. I was fighting to hold back the tears. I've committed all of my adult life working in the field of public safety. And the men and women and the military, they deserve you know, that support. But one thing that we cannot forget, it's not just our military. It's not just our military, it's not just our police that are patriots. It's not, it is beyond that. I mean, we had civil rights workers that have sacrificed and given their lives that were not in uniform. We've had Muhammad Ali, back then when he did it, when he stood up, you know, back then people didn't like it. When he died, they saw him as a patriot. So, you know, this is something that strikes people at their core.
Even the owners that are supported Donald Trump monetarily and the voting body, even the owners of these teams are now joining arms with the coaches and players. What does that tell you? What
it tells me is, again, that the comments struck a chord. People did not appreciate the comments made by the president. But here's something that is really important to keep in mind. At some point in time, we have to deal with these issues of justice and injustice. We have to move this to where we're actually taking some steps of resolution. From a national perspective, what those players did is they highlighted an issue. And they should do that, and they should be a catalyst of change. But when it's all said and done, there are 18,000 law enforcement agencies that primarily function at the local level. This will be resolved, and we can only resolve this locally. Case in point, didn't get a lot of attention, but yesterday we had local law enforcement executives here in this area, University of Wisconsin, the Madison Police Department, the Urban League, NAACP, United Way, meeting about these issues. This is where it's going to be resolved. It's a national issue, but it has to be resolved at the local level.
Not on the football field.
That's absolutely correct.
Well, great to see you again.
Thank you.
Thanks for your insight.
Appreciate it.